Who's the most unassuming person you've ever met who turned out to be hiding something huge for me? It was Gary. Gary worked the loading dock at the warehouse where I spent a summer. Gary was built like a sack of potatoes tied in the middle, always wore the same faded blue flannel shirt regardless of the weather, and smelled faintly of stale coffee and regret. His job was simple: scan boxes as they came in, scan them as they went out. He did it with the speed and enthusiasm of a sloth on tranquilizers. We all assumed Gary was just Gary. Simple, slow, probably lived with his mom. Then came the heat wave. Temperatures hit, and the AC in the warehouse was basically a suggestion. We were ally melting, moving like molasses. Gary, predictably, was moving even slower than usual. He dropped a pallet of boxes, and they'd spilled open, scattering what looked like industrial-grade cleaning supplies everywhere. We all groaned, picturing hours of cleanup. But then Gary, with a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of centuries, just knelt down. He started picking up the spilled containers, not randomly, but with a weird, methodical precision. He wasn't just grabbing them, he was organizing them by color, then by size. And he was doing it fast. Like, impossibly fast. He finished in about 5 minutes, not a drop spilled, all perfectly aligned. We were staring. Then, one of the forklift operators, Big Dave, who always joked about Gary's slowness, yelled, "Hey Gary, you gonna stand there all day or what?" Gary, without looking up, just said, "Dave, if you hadn't parked that forklift within 3 feet of the spill zone, I wouldn't have had to rush." We all froze. Dave, who was supposed to be ex-military and could probably bench press a smart car, looked genuinely flustered. Gary just stood up, dusted off his flannel, and went back to his scanning, at his usual snail's pace. Later, I saw him on his break, not eating a sandwich, but meticulously sketching schematics in a small notebook. I asked him what it was, and he just shrugged and said, "Oh, just a few ideas for optimizing the hazardous materials handling protocols. Standard stuff." Turns out Gary had a PhD in chemical engineering and had been a lead hazmat technician for a major response team before he decided the warehouse life was more relaxing. He'd apparently been hiding out from a high-stress career, using his downtime to tinker with physics problems that made our college professors sweat. We never saw him scan another box incorrectly, but more importantly, we never looked at him the same way again. He eventually just left. No notice. No goodbye. Just a slightly tidier loading dock and the lingering scent of a man who'd seen things we couldn't even imagine.